Welcome to the Visualize Meditations podcast, hosted by your friend Sasha Patil, a Chopra certified meditation teacher. The first step to creating the life of your dreams is to create a clear and compelling vision for what you want for the future. I'll be guiding you on visualization meditation so you can get clear on your deepest desires. Let's get started so you can turn your vision into a reality. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. It's your gal pal Sasha. And to paint the scene for you right now, I am currently in sunny San Diego. I've been here for a couple of days and I'm about to make a really big change in my life. Not that I haven't made a ton of big changes in my life for the last, year or so. I feel like every year up until this point for the last, 5 years have just been big change after big change, changing jobs and then going from New York to Miami and then living there and making changes with my health and starting a podcast and a business and becoming a meditation teacher and then leaving my relationship and traveling around the world full time for a year and now, still bopping around but at a much slower pace. I'm making a big change. I am getting a rhinoplasty tomorrow. So about a little over 12 hours, maybe 15 hours from now, I will be having my surgery. I was feeling emotional today because it was just kind of hitting me all at once that I've just been going through so much change in the last handful of years. And I would even say beyond the last handful of years. I mean, every single year of my life up until this point has just been so drastically different. And I've gone through so much, and it's taught me, that the only constant in life is truly change. And at this moment, it just feels like it all just kind of hit me at once. When my parents flew in for the surgery and when they showed up yesterday and we checked into this gorgeous Airbnb, it kind of hit me that, oh my God, I actually made this decision. I'm actually going through with it. And it kind of hit me all at once. And I wasn't feeling nervous about the surgery until yesterday. And I still feel a little nervous, but it's something that I've wanted for so long. I texted my best friend, who I've known since I was 5 years old. If you haven't listened to the Parker Petroff Rims episode, go back and listen. I got to sit down with my childhood best friend, and he's the relationship I've had longest in my life outside of my immediate family. And I was texting him today, and I was like, how long have I been talking about this? Like, when was the first time you remember me chatting about this? And he says, definitely when we were in early high school. So definitely when I was at least 14 or 15, he said, but the earliest recollection that he had of me talking about wanting to change my nose was when we were in the 5th grade, when we were 11 years old. And I've wanted this for a very, very long time. And it's a very permanent decision, and it's something I've wanted for a long time. And I'm really excited about it. I do feel a little nervous about how people are going to treat me differently, but then I think it's just a mirror to show me, why do I care? I think it's going to be a really great mirror to see in my life who's a connection that seems right versus one that doesn't seem right, or one that I want to create some more distance from. If people are going to judge me, why do I want to be in close contact with them anyway? It's really no one's business but my own, honestly. So I don't know why I feel nervous about that, but honestly, having that nervousness come up has been a really great mirror to show me oh, I really don't care what people think, but I think maybe on some level I do care about how they treat me. I don't care what they think about my nose, but I do care about how they treat me in my life. It's a really big transition. It's a really big decision. I'm feeling a little nervous. Going under in surgery in general is just a very nerve-wracking thing. Even though I'm not the one doing the hard work, I'm not the one taking the knife and cutting my face open. I'm still the one who's having to go under and recover, and I'm looking forward to taking a real break. I have 5 days of absolutely nothing scheduled, absolutely nothing. So I'm really looking forward to just taking some time to binge watch all of the TV that I didn't watch. I did not watch a single show last year. I mean, I watched White Lotus, but I could commit 1 hour a week to White Lotus because there's only 1 hour every Sunday, and at the time I could really commit that time. But I haven't watched any TV all year. I haven't watched any movies all year except on planes if I wasn't working. So I'm really looking forward to just vegging out, rotting, hanging out in this gorgeous outdoor little patio, watching a ton of TV, hanging out with my parents, and just spending good quality time with them and just resting. And it's funny because my therapist was like, "Oh my God, why do you need to schedule a surgery in order to take a real break and real rest?" And I was like, "I don't know. Thank you for calling me out, J Money. Really appreciate it, but that's his job. It's literally his job to call me out." And something else I'm sitting on right now are these spikes and feelings of anxiety that arise within me in certain situations. I don't want to get too much into specifics, but I find that there are certain situations that are putting my nervous system into fight or flight, and it's impossible to make aligned decisions, and it's impossible to live my life in alignment when my body's in fight or flight. So I'm thinking about and feeling on, paying attention to what are these things and people and situations that spike this feeling of anxiety and that, you know, throw my nervous system out of whack, and thinking about it and be like, okay, how can I reduce that exposure? And how can I regulate my nervous system? And on top of it, something that's kind of sitting with me right now is how can I address the thing head on that's bothering me? So if a person's bothering me, or if a situation's bothering me, or if something is turning my nervous system into, kablooey and it's putting me in fight or flight, how can I address that thing head on? And I've learned this year that when you address the thing head on, it alleviates itself. It goes away. When you address the thing head on, it goes away. And when you don't address the thing head on, it persists. What you resist persists, really. So there are situations where I'm seeing things come up and I'm like, oh, wow, this is really spiking anxiety. This is really putting my nervous system into fight or flight. How can I address this thing head on so that I can continue to move out throughout my life in a really calm, regulated state? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's now like mid-January. My focus for the next couple of weeks is to rest and recover and to recuperate my energy levels, just because I was feeling really burned out for the last month or so. And being now in San Diego, I feel my energy levels rising again, which is a really great thing to notice and to feel. How can I just replenish my energy? Because come February 1st, I have a couple of really big projects I'm going to be working on, and I want to be able to go towards those in full force. And not even full force, but I want to be able to work on these projects in a state of flow and an inspired state, in a state that is aligned with the outcome I want. Like if I'm not aligning my energy to the outcome I want, then even when I have the outcome, I'm still going to feel in fight or flight. Like I want to feel the way I want to feel before I get to the outcome. Because at the same time, when you reach the outcome, a lot of times you're still feeling the same way that you felt the entire time. Like a lot of times people think like, oh, when I get this thing or when I achieve this thing, I'm going to feel better. But then you get that thing and you still feel the same way. So how can I align with how I want to feel now in pursuit of the outcome before I actually get there? Because when I get there, I want to be able to enjoy it and I want to still feel great and not think that getting the outcome is going to solve everything. So how can I feel great in this state right now? And how can I do that in a way that feels really good? And how can I just continue to prioritize my energy and do the things that feel great to me is something I'm just sitting on right now. I know I'm being really vague, guys, okay, so bear with me. I'm about to make a really big change to my life and to my face and to my being and to everything. And I heard a quote once that I think it's in some culture, I'm not sure which culture, but when you change your face, you change your life. And I'm like, well, I haven't been actively changing my life for the last couple of years. Like, I don't know what else I could do. I feel like I've actively done a lot to change and to actively move towards change. And I'm feeling really excited about this decision. I've wanted it for so long, and I'm looking forward to, this new phase of life and this new season of life. But that's not to go without saying that I do feel a little nervous about it. I do feel a little anxious about it, just about like logistics of surgery and about the logistics of going under and things like that. And, feeling a little concerned about, am I going to be treated differently in my life? Or maybe not. Maybe I'm just worried about stuff for no reason. The only thing I can control are my actions and my reactions. So my intention going into this is I want my actions to be aligned with my values and my needs and my desires. And I want to show up in every moment in a way where I feel proud and exuding love and joy and fun. And I just want to be doing that. I want to react from a calm, grounded place and allow it to teach me lessons and allow myself to enjoy the journey, even if it's challenging, and to enjoy the moment, even if it's difficult, and just continue to bring myself back to the question, how can I enjoy this moment of the journey even more? So that's kind of where my thoughts are right now and where my feelings are right now. I have a lot to get through and I have a lot to do, just trying to prepare for surgery and to take 5 days of complete nothingness and complete rest and recovery before moving into this next phase. I just want to be able to take my 5 days and just like really sink my teeth into just rest and recovery. And maybe I will record when I have the cast on my face because that's really funny. So if I decide to do that, I'll insert that clip right after this. And if I don't, then this is just a little clip in the episode, but I don't think this is going to be the whole episode. Anyway, we'll catch you guys on the other side of this really big change. Bye. Hi, hello. So the last clip you guys heard, I was about to go into surgery and I am now 8 days post-surgery. And I'm feeling really good in some ways and not great in other ways. As far as my physical health goes, and as far as my nose and surgery goes, I'm feeling pretty okay. Like my nose feels a little tight and I'm resting. I've been instructed not to get my heart rate up for at least another month. So I'm just taking this time to work, to chill out, to get my shit together. And it felt really, really good to just rest for 5 days straight. After I got the surgery, I kid you not, I literally watched TV for 5 days straight. I can't tell you the last time I took an afternoon off, let alone a day, let alone 5 days to do nothing. Like, yeah, I've had time off, but that time off has been traveling and seeing places and doing things and hanging out with friends and like getting my shit together and like working on the podcast. But this time I scheduled nothing. I didn't work on the podcast. I didn't work on my 9 to 5. I didn't work on anything. I didn't really talk to anybody. I literally sat in front of the TV and watched TV and did nothing. And it felt really good. And by the end of like day 4, I was kind of like, okay, I'm like itching to get back to it. But my energy levels are rising every day and I can't really move much. I really can't move my body much and I can't do much with that. But my energy levels are rising and I'm starting to feel really excited about the next chapter and moving forward. And I wanted to spend the rest of this month resting and recovering, not just from surgery, but also from last year. Last year was really intense. And I feel like a lot of times I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to keep going, to push ourselves to our limits, to just continue to push forward instead of stopping, resting, taking a break, reflecting, thinking about what's next, taking some time to recover our energy. And it felt really good to take that break and to just recover. And my intention for the rest of this month was to just recover, focus, get my energy right, focus on my energy, and just rest after the craziness that last year was, because it was a lot. It was a lot to manage. It was a lot to deal with. And now I'm slowing down and I'm looking forward to this like newer, slower pace of life because I think I need it. Honestly, I kind of want to slow down to speed up. I kind of want to take my time and move through things a little bit more slowly. Something I've been talking about is the fact that my 4 to-do lists rule my life. Right now, they're 3 to-do lists, right? It was 4. It was my 9 to 5, my podcast, the travel, and the admin. Right now, the travel has been removed, so it's just 3 to-do lists. And something I sat down and did, and I suggest to any woman out there, is brain dump everything you feel like you have to do. Brain dump all of it into a big list and then separate it out by your feminine cycle. So I literally brain dumped everything I had to do for every area of life and I spaced it out by feminine cycle. So my follicular, ovulation, luteal, and menstrual phase. If you don't know anything about that, I suggest looking it up, but also I'm happy to do an episode about that. It's changed my life. And I've separated these tasks into these things and I scheduled out the next quarter for the next 2 months of my life, 2.5 months of my life with everything I need to do every day. So when I'm looking at my to-do list and my mountain of my to-do list, I'm not looking at the mountain of everything that needs to get done. Now I can just go into that day and be like, okay, so what tasks do I need to do today in order to get everything done? And being able to kind of time block that feels really good because I think it's going to help with my stress levels a lot. And something that I really want to focus on is managing stress and releasing stress, because I find that I feel like I'm really wound up. And yes, I'm a high achiever and I'm a go-getter, and that comes with drawbacks. And the drawbacks are my stress levels are normally off the chart. So it's like, okay, well, how do I manage the stress? I can manage the stress by scheduling out what I'm supposed to do when and time blocking it all. That way I know it's all going to get done and I don't have to put pressure on myself to feel like I'm always running out of time, because the time is there and it's already pre-scheduled out. So I've kind of time blocked my life through the end of the quarter, and I'm really excited about that and really looking forward to that. I'm moving out of this Airbnb and into my community living house next week, and I'm looking forward to living in a community again and being around other people again, and everyone else is a digital nomad, so I think it's going to be great to be connected and really prioritizing that again, because I was so happy living in Paris and community living, and I'm really looking forward to that kind of next chapter as far as that goes. So overall, things are kind of looking up. It feels really good that I've taken a break and taken a proper rest, and I feel like it really helped with the burnout, and I feel like I've kind of managed the burnout, and I feel like I'm feeling energized again and back on my feet again, and that's feeling really good, and I'm looking forward to what's next. Moving forward in this podcast, I'm going to be pivoting slightly and changing direction slightly, and I'm going to be doing more content around, I guess, like, personal development, but like realistic personal development. You know what I mean? Like, really, how can we do all the skills, all the tasks, all the tools, all of that realistically? Because at the end of the day, we're not perfect, and part of life is enjoying life. So finding the balance between both and finding the balance between everything is something I'm wanting to move forward into. So I'm opening up the space for you guys. What kind of questions do you have? What kind of topics do you feel like you're struggling with? Let's chat. Let's talk. I'm really looking forward to the next phase of this podcast and moving forward with it all. And it's going to be less, I mean, obviously, I'm always going to include story time and everything, but it's going to be less about like where I've been traveling, because I'm not really traveling anymore. I'm like kind of staying in San Diego for a bit, and I'll be here for a bit. And moving forward, I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on personal development, a little bit more on like topics focusing on these areas of life and how to realistically feel like you're growing, but also enjoying at the same time. Because life is not just about achievement. Life is also about enjoying it. Like, we are on this planet to enjoy the spectrum of the experience. So that means, okay, well, how could I feel like I'm growing in my career and in my finances and in my relationships, and like how could I feel like I'm progressing and moving forward, but at the same time not putting as much pressure on yourself, and also understanding how can I enjoy my life, how can I find joy in simple pleasures, and being able to find both, because one without the other is just a recipe for disaster. Like, all pleasure without any sort of hustle can be laziness, and all hustle with no pleasure can just be stress. So how can you find both? So that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on moving forward. And I have a lot of really exciting ideas about what I want to do with this podcast and where I want to take it, and ideas that are floating in my head. And I'm feeling so excited about them. And I'm feeling so excited to like share that and be with you guys with that. If you guys could leave reviews, testimonials, comments, anything, it's such a huge help, especially as I'm moving forward in this new phase of the podcast and towards adding as much value as possible to you guys. For me, it's important to understand what you guys want and to have an idea and a pulse on how can I make your lives better. Like, tell me, because I want to do it. We'll catch you guys next week on the Visualize Meditations podcast. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. Please follow, subscribe, leave a review, all of the good things. If you want to connect more, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Visualize Meditations. So what are you waiting for? Get out there, create the life of your dreams, and we will see you next week.